What is going on, warriors and farmers of Tamaris? Back again with another Call of Dragons video. I have started a brand new series on the channel known as Endgame Guide, giving you guys tips and tricks based on 2 years experience playing Call of Dragons. The first episode in this series is going to be Liliya Theia, aka the best mage mage in the game for those who are in the League of Order. The next one is probably going to be multiple covering matches. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss out. Don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, leave some comments down below. Let's get started. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Lilia and Thea is hands down the best mage mage for anyone who is in the League of Order. If you're in the League of Order and you're not using Lilia and Thea, then you have no idea what you're missing out on. In today's episode, I'm gonna show you guys why this mage has been so dangerous for so many people in the open field. In case you didn't know, Lilia and Thea is one of the mages that has the highest attack boost you will ever find in Call of Dragons. Allow me to show you. When you go to Lilia 3rd skill, she has a 20% attack boost, which is pretty nice. And then you go to Thea. She's got 15% attack boost from here. She's got another 10% attack boost from here when you use Celestials, that is 25%. And then you have another 30% attack from the 4th skill known as the Lex Lucis, which is 55%. You add that to the 20% you get from Lilia, that is 75% attack. And then you're going to go to the Infernal Flame. You hit the skills. You're going to see that Infernal Flame has another 30% attack, giving you 85% attack, which is just nuts. That is just insane. Is that 85? You have 75 plus 30, that is 105% attack. It is just ridiculous. On top of that, you have another magic attack of 40% here and a legion attack of 22%. This is just crazy. What does this mean for you in the open field? It means your normal attack is going to do a lot more damage. Your counter attack is going to do a lot more damage, making this pairing excellent for open field group fights. When it comes to 1v1, this mage is going to lose to a Lilia Velen. But when it comes to open field, where there is a lot of people, this mage is going to pop out. You have Thea providing you with an extra 15% hero skill damage boost, which is going to boost Lilia rage skill, 1200 damage factor to 3 targets. On top of that, Lilia has a 200 scorch every second for 5 seconds, another 1000 skill damage factor, which can be spread out to 2 other legions. It is just too much. It's going to let you do a lot of damage. This mage is kind of like a hybrid between archers and mages. Excellent normal attack, excellent counter attack. Thea also has the shield that's going to absorb a lot of damage, helping you have a healthy troop count and do a lot of damage in the process. She has more defense and she has a lot going on. In order to get the best value out of this pairing, you need to understand how Lex Lucis work. This skill is a little bit tricky. If you don't understand it properly, you are going to miss out on the concept of this pairing. And today, I'm going to show you guys how to get the best value out of Lex Lucis. Now, before I show you how to get the best value out of Lex Lucis, let me explain how this skill works. It says when Legion gains a shield, their attack is increased by 10% up to a maximum of 30%. Now, how are you going to get this 30% maximum? So basically, when you get a shield, you are going to get 10% attack. If you get 3 shields, it's going to total 30% attack. So let's say you fight your enemy. Lilia casts a rage skill on turn number 10. And then Thea casts a rage skill 3 seconds later on the 13th second. She is going to trigger 1 shield and give you 10% attack from here. And then you fight, and then Thea casts a rage skill again, maybe on second number 22. She gets another shield. This one goes to 20% attack, which runs for the entire duration of the match. And then you fight, she triggers her 3rd shield. She gets 30% attack, but that could be almost 30 seconds into the fight to get the 30% attack, which is very long. Now, there are 3 ways you can get this shield within 15 seconds. I'm going to show you how to get that value. Let us head over to the Lilia talent tree and I show you how you can get a shield as fast as possible. So this is the talent tree that I am currently using for this march. It has been tested in so many marches. A lot of people are using it. I can say this is probably an end game talent tree that you can use. I'm going to explain it in a little bit. If you go over here in the magic talent tree, you have what we call the Orb of Protection. When casting Rage skill, your Legion has a 25% chance to gain a shield. So on turn number 10, when Liliya casts her Rage skill, she has a 25% chance to get a shield. When she gets a shield, she's going to trigger Lex Lucis and give you 10% attack. And then 3 seconds later, Thea is going to cast her Rage skill. She's going to trigger a shield again. That's going to give you 20% attack because you've got 2 shields. And Thea could also trigger this ability in her own turn as well, giving you that 3rd shield, making you get 30% attack within less than 15 seconds. But the problem is the Orb of Protection does not trigger all the time, so you could miss out. This is one way you can get a shield for this pairing. Now let us check out the next way you can get a shield. We are going to go to the Warpet. Let's go to this Sapphire Fabric over here. Now there are a few skills that you need here to help you with the Lex Lucis. You're going to need a Pain Bloom and you're going to need the Super Follow-Up. The Super Follow-Up makes it so that you're almost guaranteed to cast another Pain Bloom 2 seconds after you cast the first one. Well, guess what? Pain Bloom actually triggers Orb of Protection. I don't know if this is a glitch, but this Pain Bloom is going to trigger Orb of Protection. And if you have the advanced follow-up, it's going to make it so that you trigger another Pain Bloom 2 seconds later, making you trigger another Orb of Protection. That could be another way to absorb counter-attack damage through that shield if you want. So let me show you this with an example. I fought a Darkling on the map and we're going to go to the battle log. So we go here on the first pet skill damage. So this one right here on turn number 14. So we click on it. As you guys can see here, cast Pain Bloom, Orb of Protection was triggered. Lex Lucis was triggered. You just got 10% attack. So that is the second way you can get a shield for Lilia and Thea. Now the third way to get a shield is from this pet skill known as, what is it called? The Heart Wall. So I have this pet that I'm using. We have this Heart Wall shield right here. 10% chance to grant Legion a shield every second. Shield factor, this amount based on your attribute, can be triggered once every 8 seconds. This skill is awesome. It's going to absorb a lot of counter-attack damage when you fight your enemies, and it's going to trigger your Lex Lucis even on turn number 1 or turn number 2, which is just beautiful, which means your first rage skill will have that 10% attack boost. So this skill is crucial on your pet. As you can see here, I have it on my pet. So we're going to talk about the pet in a little bit. So these are the 3 ways you can get a shield to make sure you maximize Lex Lucis for Thea. It is very crucial. In my opinion, you're going to need a pet that looks a little something like this. This is going to give you the maximum value. What I have learned playing this game over 2 years is that your enemies will die in less than 15 seconds, especially if it's a good fight, if it's a group fight, which means a lot of the skills in the game are not going to be very useful. For example, if you take this Sapphire Fabric, we have this ability, the Intense Pain Bloom, which gets stronger the longer you fight. But the problem is your enemies will die in less than 15 seconds in a group fight, making this skill almost useless. You might as well just take it out. Because you know, in those group fights, your enemies don't last long. One target is dead in 10 seconds, you go to the next one. It is the reason the Heart Wall is very, very good for this type of situation. It's going to help you out, help you absorb damage in that short fight, help you trigger Lex Lucis, have an extra 10% damage. Even if you don't cast your rage skill, you have a shield, you have a 10% attack boost. Excellent at wrecking those infantry front lines. Let us go to the Warpet Sanctuary and we have an expanded look on the pets that you can use for this Liliya Theia March for the Open Field. Now this could be one of the pets that I would recommend. Let's go to the skill. I only have about 6 skill slots. Now if I had 8, there are 2 skills that I'm going to add over here. One is going to be, let's go to the 3-star version. So one of them is going to be Magic Fortune. It's going to go here on slot number 7. And the next one is going to be the Magic Spirits. That is what is missing from here. Now, if I want, I could remove this Intense Pain Bloom and then replace it with a heart wall. Remember, the purpose is to help you do as much damage as possible within the first 15 seconds of the fight. You know, a lot of your enemies die as fast as possible. Within 15 seconds, they are dead. You go to the next target. If you have a heart wall here, it's going to be useful. However, you don't really need it. If you really want to keep your intense pain bloom, it's a very expensive skill, so you shouldn't lose it. If you have a advanced follow-up, I think you should be good, because your pain bloom and your advanced follow-up is going to help you with the Liliya Theia shields. So this is one of the Warpets that I would use. You would put a magic fortune and you would put the magic spirits, and this Warpet is complete. Now, as you can see here, I have built a second Warpet designed specifically for Liliya Theia, and these are the skills that I have on it. I have this double crit rate, double crit damage, which is just excellent. I have the outburst of rage, and I have the heart wall. The purpose of this pet is to kill infantry tanks. I can absorb some damage from here, and you know, a lot of enemies don't last more than 15 seconds, they are dead. So I can get the best value out of Liliya Theia with this pet with the heart wall. So this is the pet that I would use. However, I think most people would use a pet that looks like this. They're just gonna add the crit rate and the crit damage, magic spirits. So that is it for the pet. Let's go over to the talent tree. Alright, Warriors of Tamaris, gonna show you the talent tree for these awesome pairings, aka Lilia and Thea. And this is what it looks like. You're gonna notice something here at the bottom. I only have a 2% match speed here. That is because Bertrand and Tohar are very slow. I have a Bertrand talent tree with 31% match speed, 15% from here, 10% from the PvP talent tree, and another 6% from here, giving it 31% for the Bertrand Tohar talent tree. And that has been my guideline for this Liliya Theia. I got 2% here. I have 9% here, making it 11%. And then Thea has 20% match speed on her skill, so that is 31%. Now Lilia and Tohar move together at the same speed. So when we continue to design this talent tree, I have 3 points here. I decided to put the 2 points here because this March has a heavy attack, which means it's going to have very good normal attack damage. Over here we went with intimidation, more skill damage. You grab magic maelstrom, and don't forget the orb of protection to trigger the Lex Lucis for Thea. We go on to the to the skill talent tree. You get the attack, you get intimidation, you get the head held high, and you get spirit of rage. You don't really need boiling blood because it doesn't work with Thea. This March has a good normal attack, but you're reducing it by 4%. I think this is what a lot of people have been using, and it's what I am also using. You can try changing this skill, going with one of these two, and see how it performs for you. You could be surprised. And then we have the focus giving you crit rates. You have this one right here, Raging Tide, giving you hero skill crit damage bonus. And then at the end here we have Thirst for Blood. When casting a rage skill, your legion deals additional hero skill damage to the target legion. You get a damage factor of 60. When Lilia casts a rage skill, you trigger this thing. Thea casts a rage skill, you trigger this Thirst for Blood. And guess what? This crit rate is going to crit this Thirst for Blood. And then this crit damage is going to boost it by another 15%. There is one thing that you should avoid. Never ever pick steady hands. This skill does not work for Liliya Theia because Thea is going to overwrite this skill. Look at the keyword right here, synergy. Synergy, 10% attack bonus. Let's go over to the Thea. You look at Thea rage skill, synergy, 15% rage skill. You guys see that? This is going to overwrite this skill from the talent tree if you decide to pick it. So do not take this skill. It's not going to work with the Liliya Theia. So this is the talent tree that I would use. This is what has been proven by a lot of people. It is excellent. Now you can try going in the magic direction. Unfortunately, there is only one good skill here known as the iconoclasm. And guess what? This skill is a 10% rage skill boost. when you look at Thea rage scale, she has a 15% boost, which is going to override iconoclasm, which is why the magic tree is also questionable, but you guys can try it out. As of right now, this is what has been proven in the open field by most people in the game. You can even go with this one if you like, but for me, I like to go with this one. Remember, the PvP matches, your enemies die in less than 15 seconds. You are not going to get full value out of this one except for those long fights. In those group fights, one enemy dead within 10 seconds, this is what's going to help you out. You can get some instant damage from here. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the end game guide for the Liliya Theia. Like I said from the introduction, I'm going to be adding other guides to this series. I will link the video over here if you want to check them out. The next one is probably going to be multiple cavalry marches. Let us do a quick summary over here. Liliya Theia, best mage march in the game for those in the League of Order. That is because it has about 167% attack boost. That is one of the highest attack boosts in the game, making this march do some crazy normal attack, crazy counter attack, crazy hero skill damage. On top of that, this is the pet that I would use with the heart wall. Now the heart wall is to help you out because enemies dies in less than 15 seconds. So this is one of the skills that you need on your pet to get maximum value for your Lilia and the Thea. What else do I need to cover? I think that is pretty much it. Make sure you don't waste this march. Lilia Velen is excellent, but they lack attack. Liliya Theia is fantastic with the attack. It's the best for open field fights when there are so many people fighting you. Thank you guys for watching. Oh, and by the way, we are getting new mages anytime soon. They might dethrone this pairing, so be on the lookout for that. Thank you guys for watching. If you're new, subscribe for more content. Until then, talk to you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.